you talk or address any current proposals that you're working on or things that you plan to bring into the legislature during the next session?
Well, one of the big things that I'm working on this summer is a special committee on foster care. The direction is for foster youth under the age of 8, getting them to permanency. This has really been a very rewarding committee. A few years back, I was appointed to a national committee, and I saw some changes in best practices from around the country that I felt we could bring here to Wisconsin. Talking with foster families in both Racine and Kenosha counties, you really see that it's a county-run system here in Wisconsin. So each county kind of does it differently. They have some state statutes that they have to follow and guidelines, but each county handles it so differently. And so I'm trying to bring some of those best practices that I've learned from other states. And I'll just go south of the border a little bit, in Illinois, in Cook County. They used to have 52,000 children in foster care. 52,000 children in foster care. Today they have about 7. Wisconsin overall, and the whole state of Wisconsin, has just about 6,000 kids in foster care. So that's a perspective. I mean, Illinois was able to change their system so drastically, and because they had strong judges, they had a really good executive branch, the social workers, and they had a good county system. They worked together and they fixed the system. First off, it saved the kids. The kids weren't in foster care. They were getting to permanency quicker, either through going back home, through reunification with their families, or getting them through to adoption. Giving those kids a brighter future much quicker. And that's one of the things that I'm looking for if I'm reelected this session.
Representative Steinbrink.
Thank you. We ended the session with 50 job bills on the table that didn't get brought forward by Democrats. These are bills that were ready to go when Wisconsin needed them. These were bills with accountability, making the economy grow in Wisconsin. Accountability to the employers, to the people getting the dollars. We've recently read that there's millions of dollars they can't even account for in this state. So bringing some of those bills forward to get the economy moving is going to be one of the priorities. Restoring the funding to education is going to be one of the really main priorities. And restoring funding to job training. We need to grow our economy. Nothing grows our economy like job training and the right incentive for businesses to come here. I know what those incentives are. I've worked with other people to bring companies to Wisconsin. Unfortunately, Wisconsin is ranked last in one way you figure it, or second to the last in the other, in bringing jobs into our state. Now, the governor counted 250,000 jobs. Didn't happen. We're last. It's not a good thing. It doesn't help our economy. However, you fund education, you fund job training, you're going to get results. And this year we cut those things. We cut education, we cut job training funding. Because we all know that a good education is really what's going to lead to a brighter future and a brighter economic world for the state.
I just want to add, we had 68 job creation bills that passed the legislature in this legislative session. 57 of them passed with bipartisan support. I'm really proud of that factor. I think we did a lot. I think more can be done. You know, back in 2010, Wisconsin's job ranking was 41. Today, our ranking is 20. I hope to get us into the top 10 in the next legislative session. In 2 years, I hope that we break the top 10. So again, we're going to have a number of job creation bills that I think that are going to be on our desk. I think the most important issue that we can deal with would be the mining piece of legislation. We have 700 shovel-ready jobs that would be ready to go if we would streamline the process, give businesses certainty to get them the permits they need so they could actually hire the people, buy the equipment, and get our economy going. I don't see, there it is, the state flag. If we could actually bring it out and show the flag, there's a mine on the flag. Our state was built on mining, and I think it's an important part of Wisconsin's economy. We have more iron ore in one county than there is in the entire country, right in Iron County, Wisconsin. So again, if we can job, or give businesses certainty, that they will bring the jobs here. I think one of the first job creation bills that we should act upon would be the mining piece of legislation.
I think we're smart enough in Wisconsin to work to create jobs without jeopardizing our natural resources, our drinking water, our tourism jobs. These would have been affected by this mining bill. This was probably the most extreme version of a mining bill you could possibly put forward. Much more lax than any of our neighboring communities, Minnesota. You know, there were threats to our environment by the way this was being done. Maybe as you get older, you sort of appreciate the air you breathe, the water you drink, and the environment you live in. So this could have been done. There was, you know, compromises out there, but nobody wanted to pass that. Because the promise was made to this mining company, you're going to have carte blanche. You can do whatever you want. Wisconsin didn't buy that, fortunately. And we held out for a version that's going to work for Wisconsin and make a difference and protect our environment. Yet it's going to provide the jobs for those communities that need them up there. Those communities did not support this bill. They knew what the ramifications were. This bill put our communities in jeopardy as far as funding. Now, they had to pay for protections if they wanted them with their own dollars that they didn't have, which meant they couldn't pursue those protections, which means the mining company would win. So we can do things in this state. We can do it in a better manner than was kind of put forward here. And I think the voters and the people of northern Wisconsin were smart enough to see that. And they made sure that they turned this proposal down.
Representative Kerkman?
I just want to respond because the mining piece of legislation got a lot of debate in Madison. Representative Mary Williams, who chairs the Jobs and Economy Committee in Assembly, her district is just south of where the mine is going to be. She actually took the committee up to the district so that they could have a hearing in the district before a bill was introduced. Then the committee had a committee bill. That committee bill is the bill that actually passed the state assembly. It went over to the Senate, and the Senate didn't want to take it up. But it was a committee bill that was built on consensus, was the bill that was actually passed in the state assembly. Now, there were 11 items that the state Senate wanted. They wanted 11 additional items, and our side agreed to 7 of those 11 items. So there was a compromise on the table. Unfortunately, I believe politics got in the way because there were several recall elections going on and one being for the governor, that the bill didn't come up. That's why I'm very hopeful that this will be one of the first bills that we take up when we go back into session, because I think we're very, very close. And if it's not GTEC, the company that was going to come here to Wisconsin, I hope that it's another company. You know, unfortunately, GTEC had placed an order with Marcyrus to build some mining equipment right here. They had to cancel that order. So it does affect people in my district, because I know I got some calls from people who worked at those companies that were upset that the bill didn't pass. I know that there is one state senator who represents South Milwaukee that wanted to vote for that bill. He wanted to. I know he did, because he told people he was going to vote for that bill, and then he didn't, unfortunately. So I'm hopeful that that's one of the first bills that we bring up when we go back into legislative session.
The Assembly unfortunately, you talk about the hearings really didn't happen until there was a lot of protests that there weren't enough hearings. Much like Act 10, it was one of those agenda items that was just supposed to go through in the dark of the night, very little discussion, be done and move on, but that didn't happen. So it's hard for me to say this, but I guess the Senate was actually wiser than the Assembly on this issue.